What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to Breaking News. Massive glitch falsely declines EIDL loans and grants. It is Monday, May the 17th, 2021. Please do me each favor. Give this video a thumbs up. Hashtag EIDL with your comments flowing. My goodness. If you're not following me on Twitter right now at Try Small Biz, I've been trying to showcase a little bit of what's coming in the next few days. It's Try Small Biz on Twitter. Username Small Biz Inc. The name of the company that I just formed a couple weeks ago to help grow your small biz. We launch in June. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I need you to do me a favor and cut me a little bit of slack. I'm exhausted. I'm a little delirious. I got an email from the SBA at 2 o'clock in the morning, and it set me off on a wild goose chase that just ended about 30 minutes ago. So if you want to find out what actually happened on April the 22nd and 23rd when they declined over 400,000 people with respect to the Targeted EIDL Advance, and what about these bullshit reasons like you're dead but you're actually alive, you owe child support but you never had kids, or the one I heard this morning, unverifiable information. Pull up a chair, ladies and gentlemen. You are not going to believe this. Grab a cup of coffee, ice cold beer, whiskey on a big rock would be good right about now. Here we go. All right, like I just said, I'm exhausted. I don't know if this video is going to make sense, but let me start by saying the following. Most, not all, most of you that have been declined for the Targeted EIDL Advance and the loan in the last few weeks, it's bullshit. And most of you are going to win on reconsideration, or what they're calling reevaluation. So jack up the spirits. I found out some shit today that is going to blow your ass away. Let me start off, however, by giving some props to a couple of people. First of all, the other day I said Nate Morabito. He was pinned on the top on Twitter. If you live in the Carolinas, North or South Carolina, or somewhere in between, or you know someone who does, this guy is an investigative reporter. You need to go back on Twitter or look at the last video. I put his email address. I got to be careful about sharing personal information or phone numbers because the frauds and the fakes take advantage of that. So I don't want to share information or phone numbers. But Nate Morabito, Nate, Morabito, I think it's at WCNC, it's first initial, last name. Go on Twitter and look it up, or look at the last video. I pinned his email address, his name. If you live in the Carolinas, you need to email him your shit show. He's the next Patrick Terpstra, who I understand has a story coming out in the next 72 hours where he goes into a music store, interviews a woman, not a guy, usually a guy, right? Accused of being delinquent on child support. In this case, it's a woman. The only problem, she never had kids. And then there were other people that he talked to that were accused of being dead that are very much alive, and on and on and on it goes. But I may have an answer as to why that happened. And like I just said, most of you, not all, most of you are going to win in reconsideration based on what I learned this afternoon. So another props I want to give before I get into the shit show at the SBA, who I talked to and what I learned, Senator Bill Hagerty from the great state of Tennessee. He is a Republican. And he just called Miss Isabel Guzman and the SBA to task yesterday, very briefly. You can go to his page. I may pin this in the top. He writes, many small businesses in need have not received any correspondence from the SBA. Oh, really? Bill, are you just figuring that out? But I do say this. Thanks so much, Bill. I hope some of your other senators on the GOP side of the aisle, Ted Cruz, Mike Lee, John Cornyn, can you get your ass off the border and talk about the EIDL Small Business Act, S513, for just 5 or 10 minutes? But anyway, Bill Hagerty goes on to say that many small businesses in need have not received any correspondence from the SBA on their shuttered venue grant application. Marsha Blackburn, who, by the way, has been very aggressive in helping a lot of people in her district get a hold of the SBA and get a lot of these ridiculous declines overturned. So thank you very much, Marsha. I wrote to Isabel Guzman urging the agency to communicate with applicants and ensure those in need are receiving funds without delay. Well, good luck with that, Bill. But look, as I've been saying for the last several weeks, folks, and the reason why I'm here, whether it's sweltering hot or ice cold in this fucking office of mine, drinking coffee, is I'm going to blow the lid off this motherfucker. You're getting your $10,000 regardless of size, location. Those caps are going back to $2 million and soon. Most of us, including me, who's been declined not once but twice, you're not going to believe this one. And yes, Big Ben Cardin and I, especially now that we've got a 450, maybe 500 car pileup, we're going to get this EIDL loan forgiven, because the more mistakes they make, the more they drive you guys through the mud, the more it looks like it's going to take up to 3 years. to get 4.5 that applied for the targeted EIDL advance. 4.5 million applied. As of last Friday, they've paid 103,000. So 96,000 of you got absolutely nothing. Did I mention you need to cut me some slack? I'm very tired, but I'm doing the best I can, ladies and gentlemen. So Bill Hagerty, GOP senator from Tennessee, thank you very much for lighting a fire on the SBA. All right, this one could be big. For all my friends in the Atlanta area, Representative in the House, Carolyn Bordeaux, you've seen me tag her many times. I've commented on her stuff. She represents the Atlanta area. She overturned, like some others did in my state, a red district blue. She's a Democrat. She's one of the only Democrats that's daring to take on the SBA and the Biden administration because, as I explained before, the swamp protects the swamp. So for Biden or Pelosi or Schumer to call the SBA and their appointee, Miss Isabel Guzman, to task, it's not easy. But Carolyn Bordeaux is offering, she's this close. I have her phone number. I did not like the email that I just read that she shared with a friend of mine. That's not going to cut it, Carolyn. We don't need this semi-copy and paste bullshit. Either you're willing to step out in front and help folks in Atlanta, or you're not. Because if you are, I'm going to launch your phone number tomorrow, and I'm going to drive massive amounts of traffic to your office. And you said, in so many words, you're going to help anyone in your district because you're running for re-election get the targeted EIDL advance or the loan that they deserve. So if you live in the Atlanta area like I do, stay tuned. I hope to have something on that tomorrow. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Also, before I get to what happened this afternoon, I asked a poll, how many of you want to sue? There were 4 choices. Yes, I am a lawyer. Yes, I know a lawyer. No, it's a waste of time. And no, we have no case. And to my surprise, on Twitter, 65% don't want to sue. 65% on Twitter says we don't have a case or it's a waste of time. On YouTube, it's even worse. 74% on YouTube say we don't have a case, it's a waste of time. So for all you bloodthirsty hounds out there that have been telling me you want to sue the SBA, where the hell you been today when I've gotten hundreds, almost 1,000 now vote saying we're wasting our time? I have said this before, I'll say it again because I am in communication with a number of lawyers. The problem that we currently face, and it might be why so many of you are voting against the lawsuit, is the SBA is hogtied based on the way the law was written. The low income requirements and the 30% economic bullshit destroyed the entire thing. However, it's starting to unravel right now. And when Terpstra comes out with his report and Morabito, and I get more people like Bill Hagerty and Carolyn Bordeaux and Big Ben Cardin is threatening to make an appearance here real soon, folks. So let's see if Big Ben Cardin gets off the Marco Polo bench and steps back into the fray with respect to EIDL. Right, Big Ben Cardin? So look, until we get more clarity from some of these senators, congressmen, and women about what they intended to put in the law, especially around the low-income requirements, we're jumping the gun on the lawsuit. But if we get what we got last year, and that was over 50 letters from senators, including Pelosi and Schumer, accusing Carranza of illegally rationing the grant and capping the loan, if we get intention to say that low income was supposed to be A, B, C, and D, in other words, wider than the purple zones that you're located in, then we have a chance, or we're going to have to deal with whatever the fuck they're doing. Now, there's also a rumor, and again, this is just a rumor. There are Democrats in the House that want to put forward a new bill. Not EIDL Small Business Act S513. Don't forget, it was the Democrats in the House that helped come up with the $50,000, yeah, you heard me right, $50,000 lifeline, SBA lifeline grant that never made it through the HEROES Act. The $2.2 trillion bill, it was going to be 50 G's. You would have had that, I think the numbers were the 50% economic loss and 10 employees or less, and then you got 50 grand. Well, it ended up being 10 plus 5. So look, someone's going to come through, whether it's the fucking Senate in Jackie Rosen and John Cornyn's bill S513, or the Problem Solvers Caucus that's bipartisan, by the way, in the House and includes people like Carolyn Bordeaux. I don't give a shit where it starts. Even President Biden can do an executive order. No one would challenge it in court. What are you doing, President Biden? Oh, we're getting 5 million people in middle class. You know, middle class Joe, the $10,000 they were promised in the CARES Act. It'd be absolutely political suicide to challenge that in the court of law. So one way or another, whether it's the Senate, the House, or President Biden, someone, as this shit continues to hit the fan, is going to come through. All right, quickly. in the remaining time that I have, let me just set the table and tell you what happened this afternoon. Had one of those notifications blocking my view. Can't be blocking my view. All right. On April the 22nd, most of us, including myself, pressed the blue button, request more funds. Hours later, hundreds of thousands, I argue millions of people, were intentionally or inadvertently declined for the targeted EIDL advance. Fair enough. Couple of weeks go by, my loan officer gets in touch with me by phone and by email, and he says, Jason, I can't approve your application or move it forward, was the words that he used, because you're outside the 25% variance. Meaning the money that the gross revenue that I estimated on my 2020 application for EIDL was 27% away from what my 4506T said. So he couldn't send me through. It was an automatic decline. He told me then, let's say 2 weeks ago, email pdc.reconsideration@sba.gov. I did that. A few days later, they emailed me back. But it didn't come from PDC. It came from COVID EIDL increase requests at SBA.gov. They said, give us your driver's license, a voided check, 4506T, and 2202, which is your liabilities, your mortgage, your business credit cards, etc. I said, okay, fair enough. And it said, email it back to COVID EIDL increase request at SBA.gov. If you have to watch this video twice, do so. So I hit the button. I got an email from the SBA, I sent in the email like everybody else to COVID EIDL increase requests 6 or 7 weeks ago. On April 22nd, I hit the blue request more funds button. I thought it was getting a healthy 6-figure number. No problem signing the 4506T. A couple weeks later, my loan officer says, can't approve you. You're outside the 25% variance. Email back to COVID EIDL increase request. I thought that was weird. Why am I not dealing with PDC? But fair enough. And then this morning at 2 o'clock in the morning, don't ask me why. I told you guys I don't sleep. I'm thinking about shit and doing stuff all the time. I check my G Suite for remote sales and it says declined. And I said, okay, great. And by the way, it's a PDF. It doesn't tell you it's a decline in the body with respect to the 24 months of loan capital, of working capital, or what they call the loan modification. What does it say? Do I have it here real quick? Dear applicant, please see the attached letter for information regarding the status of your economic injury disaster loan modification request. Where did it come from? Disaster customer service. Do you guys see what's going on here? It started off COVID EIDL increase request. Then they said send it to pdc.reconsideration. Then I go back to COVID EIDL increase request. Then I get a rejection letter from disaster customer service. What does it say in the subject line? SBA loan number. Doesn't say my app number. So the rejection, if you get one for the loan modification, has your loan number. SBA loan number, status update. That's in the subject line. So if you scroll down and you hit the PDF that's turned my stomach, it tells you, Dear Jason, in these unprecedented times, we understand the challenge you're facing. The SBA is making every effort, blah, fucking blah. We are unable to modify your loan for the following reasons. Unverifiable information. During the loan process, there were one or more items that we reviewed that caused the SBA to question the validity of certain information you submitted as part of your application. It gets even better, folks. You're not even going to believe what I went on and learned. So I'm thinking, all right, I'm laying there. It's 2:30 in the morning. I get so fucking pissed off and nauseous. I had to get up. So I'm drinking coffee, partly why I'm exhausted at 4:30. It's way too early. I went walking around the block. I must have walked 5 miles thinking, all right, how am I going to handle this one? So I come back in, and as soon as the Tier 2 agents showed up at 8 a.m., I'm on the phone. And I get on the phone with 2 of them. And I ask them all the same thing. Hey, I just got a decline letter. I'm a little confused. I sent in my information. Remote sales has been in business since April of 2019. I haven't changed my bank info. My driver's license is exactly the same. They both look at my portal account. Mr. McLehone, we can see nothing wrong. They verified my routing, my banking, my social security, my address. It all checked out, so they had no clue. So I go back and I'm stewing 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. What the hell's going on? So something inside of me said, go back and read the decline letter. So I pull up the attachment to the decline that I just shared with you. And I look in the upper left-hand corner. For some strange reason, thank you, Lord, And the date says April 22nd, 2021. And I thought to myself, what the fuck is that? So I scroll back to my videos and I realize that's the exact same day millions of us hit the blue request more funds. And the light bulb goes off and I go, holy shit. I wasn't declined 72 hours ago. I wasn't even declined because I talked to my loan officer 2.5 weeks after the decline. So what the hell happened the day I hit the button, like many of you that got declined, accused of being married or delinquent when you don't even have kids, being dead when you're very much alive, being accused of having unverifiable information when the SBA won't even tell you what the fuck that is. Or those of you that are on a do not pay list, but they don't tell you where, when, why, or how. You know why? Most of it is bullshit. It's a fucking glitch. I want to give thanks, I won't mention her name, to a tier 2 supervisor that I called back once I recognized the video on this. I said, I want to talk to the most senior tier 2 supervisor on the planet. And they laughed and I said, I'm serious. I got a big problem. It might turn into a lawsuit. I need to talk to the most experienced tier 2 agent. Hold on. And here comes an angel from above. This woman was incredible. There for more than 10 years. Totally patient, answered all my questions, gave me a ton of information. I said to her, I just opened this decline letter and noticed it's dated April the 22nd. She said, well, when did you file your reconsideration? I said, just a few days ago, and I got declined today. I didn't even talk to my loan officer until I think it was May 8th or 9th. She said, that's very interesting. She said, what was the date again? I said, April 22nd. She starts laughing. She says, you know, that was the day we had a major problem with the software. I said, what do you mean major problem? Well, there was a major problem, right, Max Maher? When your source said they inadvertently, intentionally, or what the fuck ever, declined 400,000 in one batch, she said we had a major problem. There were people that were getting declined for the targeted EIDL advance, or in your case, the loan, in many cases for the wrong reason. Now, has the SBA come out and admitted they've got a massive fucking problem? No, they haven't explained why are you denying people for unverifiable information and you refuse to tell anybody what it is. You know why? This is my opinion backed up by hardcore facts now. It was a fucking glitch. They have no fucking idea how this happened. There was a massive crash. Do you remember the blue buttons they were working on? The automatic approval and the fund now? Well, that, in my opinion, and I'm backing this up with people I talk to all day long, caused a major crash of the system. And many people, including myself, I got declined minutes after I hit that fucking button. This was not because of my loan officer saying I was outside of variance. This was not because of the reconsideration I just did 2 days ago. This was because the minute I hit the button, including many of you, when you got declined, whether it was the grant, the loan, or both, for ridiculous reasons that just didn't make sense, there was a crash. There was a massive glitch, and I need all of the investigative reporters, the senators like Bill Haggerty, Carolyn Bordeaux, you need to get on the fucking horn right now with Miss Isabel Guzman and the SBA and say, what the hell happened on April 22nd and 23rd? Why are constituents like mine, right, Carolyn Bordeaux, getting a decline letter that was dated a month ago, April 22nd, the same night I hit the fucking blue button like many of you did? So I want you to sit there right now. If you were declined for illegitimate reasons, falsely declined, there is a 99% chance you're going to win in reevaluation. Now, this woman walked me through some things I had to do. She said, let me look through your account. Everything checked out. By the way, your reconsideration team, if you didn't know this already, can see your portal. We were always told they were separate. That's true with respect to the phone number. But when you go to reconsideration at PDC Recons or PDC.reconsideration, as soon as a loan officer grabs that file, is the term she used, they look at your portal account. So if they have notes, and I'm going to tell you what she put in there. Yeah, this is going to be long, but well worth it. What she put into my account, word for word, that's going to help me, in my opinion, win on reconsideration. So she's walking me through it. She said, did you put everything in PDF? I said, well, I put my 4506T, 2202, my taxes. She said, what about the driver's license and the voided check? I said, well, I sent that as a JPEG. Nope, you got to do it over. But here's what you do, ladies and gentlemen. Do not forward the entire email again, because I did a reconsideration late last night, early this morning. I sent in everything, including my incorporation papers and damn near anything else I could think of, along with an explanation as to why I was declined on April 22nd, as soon as I hit the Request More button. So in your reconsideration letter, if you're going to do it from here on out, find out, look at the letter in the upper left. If the date is April 22 or 23, I can almost guarantee you were inadvertently and falsely declined for some bullshit reason. Now, if you are full of shit and you didn't file your taxes, I can't help you. But if you get a decline that's 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks old, and you see that date is April 22 or 23, I almost guarantee it's a wrong assessment you're going to win in reconsideration. So she says, do the following. Email pdcrecons@sba.gov. Put your reconsideration for increase app number in the top like you always do. And then just a simple note. Hi, SBA. I'm attaching my PDF for my driver's license and voided check. I already sent in all my other documents and I listed them out with respect to my reconsideration this morning. If you need anything else, please let me know. She said, don't go any farther than that because I already elaborated in the first email. So I didn't forward the other documents. I just added the driver's license and the check as a PDF form. She said, as soon as that comes in, someone's going to take a look at it and they're going to add it into my file. It's probably going to be a different person than the one that sees the email I sent this morning, but it could be the same. And she said, because you're sending it only 2.5 to 3 hours later, it's probably not going to make a big difference. They're going to see the photo first because they're, not first, they're going to see it within the same hour or so, because probably not many went to reconsideration within a 2-hour period. So, I told you I'm tired. The good news is most of you that were falsely accused, especially if you're dated April 22nd and 3rd, you're going to win. You're going to win. Call up Tier 2 if you've been declined and ask them if they can see anything in your account that looks off. If you get the unverifiable information, have them verify your banking, your name, everything. And when they say there's nothing wrong, have them notate the account. She did. She said, went through all the information, banking, yada, yada. There was nothing that looked out of place. Applicant emailed in PDF format of taxes, certificate of incorporation, 2202 4506T. I just instructed him to send in PDF copies of his driver's license and voided check. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, before I let you go, I said, is there any way that I could recommend your services to your boss, maybe get you a raise? She goes, as a matter of fact, you can. When you go into your portal, disaster assistance, or the same email that sent me the decline letter, I sent a letter of recommendation. So in the title, I put Tier 2 agent, and she has a 4-digit number. I said, hi, SBA. I would like to sing the praises of agent such and such. She did this, that, and the other. She notated my account that I sent in my reconsideration this morning, but I needed to follow up with PDF copies of my driver's license and voided check. I should now be all set to be in full compliance for my 24 months of working capital. Thank you very much. The agent, the Tier 2 agent, the battery's running low. The Tier 2 agent said, you know what? There's an excellent chance they're going to notate your account that you sent me a letter of recommendation. Now, if that doesn't get me approved, knowing that I had the most powerful Tier 2 agent in the entire organization, available at that time anyway, notate my account, tell me exactly what I have to do, say that I followed her instructions to the T, and then I get her a letter of recommendation that also might be notated in my portal account. Ladies and gentlemen, I know this ran long, but the bottom line is this. I love each and every one of you, and most of you, if you got declined during that massive glitch of 22nd and 23rd, you are going to win in reconsideration or reevaluation. Until next time, I really appreciate you watching, and I'll talk to you soon.